Maul or Nothing.
Hello, and welcome to this very special episode of Maul or Nothing, moments after the Lions of 2025, who will tour to Australia, had been revealed. Before we get into anything, Ryan, what's the first thing we're asking all of our wonderful viewers and listeners to do?
I want them to jump straight into the comments. So even if you're listening on Spotify, I think you can comment. And if you're on YouTube, wade in there. Tell us the shock decisions that you think, really? Why are they going? And I want the ones that you think, yeah, should have been on there. So jump in the comments, help the algorithm, and let us know the ones that you think, nah, no way.
What's really angered you? What's really peeved you off? That's
Tom
what
Jordan.
we want to know.
Tom Jordan going has pissed me off. So just let me know if you're pissed off about that as well.
Okay, well, no. Let's start positively because both your top picks are going. All right, let's start with that. You desperately, even though you ridiculed me for the game where I was asking you who you really wanted on the plane to down under, our boy Nons, Sione Tupolaitu is going, and Willie Stewart is also going. So, boys, happy?
I don't know. I feel weird about the selections, lads. But maybe that's just always how you feel about Lions. You're always a bit torn. But mate, congrats. Many congrats to all who've been selected. Must be unbelievable. Like just watching Genji go through like the emotional sort of turmoil of waiting. Also, how long was that sort of build up, by the way? But anyway, I was like, come on now. Let's just get on with the draft.
Were you with Genji? Tell us what happened. What happened?
Oh, we were all just twiddling our thumbs, waiting for everyone to get through the sort of the history and the pageantry and the. But then Ugo sort of cut to the chase. Good on him. And then so we got there and then just going through the names. Even I was getting a bit vicarious for him. I was like, oh god, there's a few Fords already. Where but the props hadn't been named yet. So I was like, oh god, oh good. And then it came up and. Yeah, just the whole room erupted. It was lovely. I was very, very pleased for him. More pleased than I thought I'd be. I was like ecstatic for him. It was awesome.
What other cheers were there? Like big cheers? Go on, be honest. What were the Bristol boys cheering about? Who really got them?
None. I bet you there was none.
No one really. Yeah, no one really.
Okay, when Pollock got announced, what did they do? What was it?
Ooh. Ooh, but it was very harsh.
Was Genji the only Bristol Bear? Yeah,
indeed, yeah.
I was down at the Warriors boys. I went down with Frank, and I was buzzing. I thought they would. I was banking on 5, guaranteed 5. There's a couple that missed out that I was like they were close, but I called it straight from the off. Scotty Cummins, Xander Ferguson.
Did you call? You didn't call Scott Cummins, did you?
1,000,000% a long time ago called Scott Cummins. Called it.
Mate, that is. I'm not going to lie to you. That was my bolter. 100%. That's my bolter out of the picks.
And we'll get onto that. We will get onto that because I've got a theory behind that. But Max, I was the same. I was sat at the back with Frank. Frank's talking the whole way through it. I'm like, shh, mate, be quiet. Not having a clue. He's like, why is everyone whispering? And then people would laugh at the shit jokes that Lee McKenzie and Ugo were dropping. And so Frank was giving it the old ha 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 ha. And then it was building as you were like waiting. Do you know what I mean? And you were just like, and as they went past boys, because obviously Darge and Dempsey in the forwards together, who, let's face it, a few months back were probably on that plane, and then injuries and the way that people have played. So you felt a little bit like Scott Cummings gets named. You're all celebrating, and then you got Xander.
There's emotional golf, isn't there? There's a bit of a void.
Yeah, that's it. So I felt for a few of the boys, but also, like you said, the nervous tension in that room, Max. Like when Hugh gets named, and then everyone's just waiting for Tuapolotu, and it just felt like the alphabet went on forever.
Yeah. What happened when Nod's going? What happened when Sione was picked? Go on.
Mate, everyone went mental. And there were cheers for all the Scots: Finn, Schoeman, Van der Merwe. It was good. It was a good atmosphere in there. There was everyone in there. So nice. I'm buzzing for the boys. But like you said, Scott Cummins was just stood there afterwards, and I was like, "You're right." And he was like, "Mate, I just don't know what to do. I just can't believe it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Was Shuggy, was Hugh Jones and Sione, were they there?
Sat next to each other, just in front of me, and I could just see it. They as I walked in the car park, they came in. They'd been to their normal place to get their sandwich, and there was obviously that inkling. Little did they know that in 30 minutes' time, after that wonderful sandwich from the place we always go, they would be being named in a Lions squad together. Hugh Pilotu, there it is. I texted the boys this morning, but like even Nons this morning, I was like, mate, this is, imagine 2 or 3 years ago when he came, we sat and had a beer when he just arrived. Imagine you knew you were going to be out there. So yeah, boys, awesome. Let's delve into it though, because I'm telling you, there's a fucking few things in there where I'm like, jobs for the boys.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start. Let's go straight into that.
Well, who are the shocks?
Shock inclusions.
Yeah. Max, name one that you were like, other than Scott Cummins, which you've already said. Who's your shock inclusion?
To be fair, though, they're all sort of justified in their own.
Yeah, okay, but what didn't you see? Where was the one that just hit you from the side?
Yeah, come on.
Where the fuck has that come to? Like my golf cart buggy crash, which we'll talk about next week. Yesterday, I nearly killed myself. Like, what just hit you like a golf buggy?
I think it's more the omissions. Maybe Jamie George, that really hit me.
Because Kelleher's in there, second choice.
Kelleher's in there, yeah.
He's second choice at Leinster as well, right?
Yeah, I was quite surprised.
We
want to be careful because, like you said, Max, and everyone needs to take this with a pinch of salt but we've got to be honest here. Kelleher for me I was like, hold on a minute, have they mistaken him for Shin?
Well, maybe he's had a strong. He's played very well for Leinster this year. So,
but I was with you. I would have had Jamie George in there.
That was a bit of a shock.
Mac Hansen, talk to me about that one.
Yeah, that one's under the radar, isn't it? Because he's sort of had he's been in and out. He's been sort of injured, etc. Hasn't sort of had the same year he had in previous seasons.
So there's a lot of money in the bank for him then. That's what you're saying. There must have been a hell of a lot of money in the bank. And it seems as though, hasn't he got a tattoo of Farrell on his leg?
Come on!
Wrong, are you?
He fucking has. That one there is, I get it. You need tourists. You need blokes that you're going to take that are going to be good for the squad. He is your sort of person.
He's your coheser. He's there for the cohesion. He's there for the culture.
100%. And listen, he's not half bad as well. He's a good rugby player, and we do like Mac Hansen.
Very good rugby player.
That one for me was a bit like, oof, didn't see that coming. I don't think many people saw that coming. And even the little interview afterwards with him on the big screen, I've just seen some clips there where they just phone him on his phone and want to have a chat with him. You're like, well, that's a bit of a fucking weird one. So yeah, Matt, that was a one for me where I was like, quite surprised.
I was going through wingers though. It wasn't like.
But Darcy Graham, mate.
Darcy Graham.
Yeah. Darcy Graham was the only one I could think of who got sort of a bit shafted there.
Well, Faye Waboso, like he's another one there was chat about him that you could have potentially. I'm just throwing some names out there.
Yeah, I think Manny Faye Waboso was like there, but then obviously he's been out for so long with the long-term injury, it'd be difficult to justify it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because the other thing is, there's a lot of back three in there, and like the centres looks pretty light. Aki, Jones, Ringrose, and Sione to Pilotu. That's it. I was surprised there wasn't maybe. I suppose who can play Daly slots in the centre. So there's another one. Whilst we're on
Tommy Freeman outside. Sorry, come.
Yeah, Tommy Freeman can get in at 30.
Elliot Daly again. Did you see that one coming?
Kind of did. Just because.
Did you?
Yeah, kind of. Like he's like a coach's dream, mate.
He's been twice.
He's been twice. He can play all over the back line at international level, not club level.
Yeah,
at international level. He's got that boot from long range. He's just a more experienced.
And clutch in the Six Nations. Let's not forget. He only came on and he was clutch. And sometimes that's what you need, right?
Like, I know what you mean, right? But like at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's a coach's dream player right there, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And like you said, you need experience on these tours. You need a little bit of experience, especially with a Toje. I know he's got the experience, But when
Okay,
you look
no,
at
this is interesting. What do you reckon happened? So Doris has been injured, right?
Yeah.
He's out. This has happened. He was going to probably. Would you say he was going to be captain, or would you say Mara was always going to be captain?
No, I think he would have been captain, Doris.
Yeah.
So, and then that opens up the back row. So, who got in? Do you reckon Pollock got in off the back of Doris?
Yeah.
Or do you reckon? So, do you reckon Jack Conan is because
No,
Conan's the only special
I think Conan gets in over Doris. That's what happened. Doris went out, Conan came in. I think Pollock played himself in, but he would have been in there. I reckon it would have been a Conan or Doris in there, or maybe Ben Earl.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Ben Earl.
Yeah. So
Because
I
I think Jack Conan's like got a strong place in Faz's heart in terms of like, mate, he's a brilliant player. It's just he's sort of overshadowed by Doris's meteoric rise. And
He's already toured as well.
He's the only like classic 8 though. Is that? Am I right? I think I'm right.
Yeah, yeah.
Ben Earl's obviously like he's sort of that utility back row. Pollock is as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So you're right. So it's Conan and Earl would have missed out, I think. Or on that, they would have lost one of these second rows. I reckon McCarthy or Ryan came in, and they're looking at then using because Byrne, Chesham, and Cummings can all play in the back row. So can Itoje, really. So, mate, because why has they got so many second rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 second rows is a lot. Hybrids.
Can do
Who knows, Max? Who knows? But I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about how the captain needs to be like an emotional leader, like an emotional driver. And I don't know if Itoje is that.
I think he's growing into it, though. I think he's grown into it. Genuinely, I think the England captaincy is like bringing the best out of him. But I sort of get where your argument's coming from in that regard. He's quite a stoic individual.
Yeah, but he seemed pretty comfortable in front of the crowd.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he's growing.
That's the kind of thing.
He's got a nice sort of aura about him. There's a cool, calm, collected vibe to him.
We've gone. By the way, we've just gone about this like here, there, and everywhere, haven't we? So we're going to try and find some structure back in this nonsense that we're rabbling on, or we're going to go through.
We were going to go inclusions and shock omissions, and we've just sort of run our way around.
We just got excited. We've got excited.
We got excited, but then, well, okay. Let's talk the big omissions. We've mentioned a couple already. Obviously, we're gutted for your pal Tom Jordan Ryan, and for Max's soon-to-be clubmate and new Bezzy, Tom Jordan. Other big omissions, probably the biggest one, Sam Prendergast.
Yeah, but you called that, Ryan, didn't you? You saw it like he played his way out of that.
Yeah, I thought he played his way out, but then I was like, maybe Farrell will still take him. And as we were chatting about just before, Mark, we came on that sort of shows that Farrell's put his stamina to say, this is my team. I'm not picking my fucking son. And I'm not taking Prendergast. And it's sort of you've got to sort of respect him for that. But I didn't see Marcus Smith going, I'll be honest.
I think that's not a bad shout again, though. There's like
great shout.
He's double-edged sword as well. He can do bits everywhere. And I think he justified his selection just in terms of what he does bring. I think he's a very unique and singular player at the moment.
And you also need a Eurasian tourist everywhere you go in life.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Absolutely.
But we called Finn Smith. We called Finn Russell.
Jack Willis.
Jack Willis. That's a big old. It's almost like it's somebody. No, but I don't know. Surely, if you're Jack Willis, you're thinking, what else could he have done?
Yeah.
If Antoine Dupont doesn't get injured against Ireland, does Jack Willis sliding doors? Does Jack Willis end up going on the Lions tour? Because obviously he plays in a semi-final where Antoine Dupont dictates everything, and he just does what he does.
Maybe Vaz just looks at the sort of the international rugby as sort of. It has to be the bread and butter of playing for Lions, and Jack sort of opted out of that willingly. So maybe that was part of his decision making there. But this is all speculation. Who else is there? Oh man, I really wanted my crystal ball for Courtney Laws, my long-term call forever. But that was
just so you could piss Ryan off and be like,
no, listen, I like him, and there's probably there's a couple Leinster players in there that I would have picked him over. I'll be fucking completely brutally honest. I mean, James Ryan, Like, didn't see it. Did not see it from a mile away. So, yeah, that's another one for me. Let's go to the nines quickly. We called Gibson Park. We knew he was going. We knew Mitchell was going the way he's played. Thomas Williams, happy for at least a couple of Welsh boys in there. I think that's a good shout. I think he plays well in.
Yeah, he's played very well. He's been one of the best signings in the Prem this year.
It's a weird one. As a Welsh supporter, I was literally, I think, like, that's the happiest we could, like, as in, I was actually happy because we're so bad right now. And yeah, obviously it would have been great to get Ewan Murray in the back, but actually Blair Murray, sorry, but Thomas Williams and Jack Morgan, that's as good as we can get. Two guys who probably also will be in there about, they're not just tourists.
Yeah, Max, we forgot when we were talking about hookers, we talked about Jamie George, but Dowie Lake as well was another one that we said should have gone in ahead of Kelleher.
Yeah, Dowie Lake. Yeah, but again, it's been unfortunate with injury, isn't he?
Right, okay, I want to do a little test. Who's the next prop to go as soon as there's an injury? So you've got Fagerson, you've got Fagerson, Furlong, Genge, Porter, Schumann, and Stewart.
What side are you talking about? Tight head or loose?
You give me one of either.
I reckon on tight head, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say Carl Sinclair might possibly get that next call up.
Right, okay. That's a big call.
Great shout.
Yeah, I think
ready-made.
I think there's a good shout. Like, he's doing really well in the top gattles. He's been there. He's done it. I think it makes sense.
And the other side?
Oh, mate. Boyle? Oh, Vin Baxter? Oh, God, I don't know.
Yeah, that was talked about, wasn't he?
Yeah. One of the two, I think, would be the obvious choice.
Hookers, we're going to go with Dowie Lake, Jamie George. If we had to put one of them on the next list, who is it?
Dowie. Oh, Jamie George. No, Jamie George will go.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
They're both like similar figures in their respective teams in terms of like leaders, etc. So, mate, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Second row, there's fucking none left because they've taken all of them.
No, there's one. I thought Dave Ribbons.
Oh, maybe Theo Dan though.
Theo Dan for the hooker.
But he's very there's a lot going on there. Very visual, dynamic carrier. Could be.
But you've got to pick one. We've got to pick one. Let's just pick one.
I'll go Jamie George.
Fine, I'll go with you on that. Yeah, second row.
Sorry, are we writing these down? Because then we can do a thing of our like short list of who's
I'm
coming
sure
out.
The producer is. Yeah, don't worry. Second rows, you're going Courtney Laws, are you? Or Ribbons? Which one?
Oh, I like Ribbons as well. He's so good right now.
Which one? Pick one.
Right now. I'll go Dave because he's playing sick rugby for a very good team in the top gattles. Yeah, Dave Ribbons.
If there was a back rower.
Oh, no. Oh, I've got
it's
one.
too hard. That's too hard.
No. Guys, there's one. The minute Tom Curry is announced, you're like, oh, yeah. And then my first thought was, at that exact moment Tom Curry is announced, his twin brother knows he is not going on the Lions because he's obviously alphabetically would have been first. That's fucking
brutal.
Nuts.
That's brutal. So you're going Ben Curry. That's fine, Mark. Max, who are we saying? Who did we just talk about missing out there? I mean, I've got Darge and Dempsey. That I was like, they would have been close, but who else?
Darge and Dempsey would have been definitely close. Well, I thought they might take Tom genuinely, just because I didn't think they had like classic
Tom Willis. Okay,
yeah,
I'm with you. An out and out ball carrying
eight.
eight.
An out and out eight. I just think they're light on the ground for one of those, especially.
So he'll be the next one we see in then if there's an injury. Because boys, there's going to be injuries. There always is. So they're always pulling people in.
Yeah, but wait, where are England are on the other side of the world?
Doesn't matter.
No, but it does. It does. No, but I know. But what I mean is that when they're in, doesn't it matter? Don't they think? Well, Scotland have got. If Rory Darge is next door in New Zealand, versus let's say whoever Ben Curry is on the other side in Argentina, right? Is that where they're going?
Yeah,
So
that sometimes happens if it's needed for speediness to get them there quick. But
that's what I mean, though.
we're not going into that. You're making this far too complicated, Mark. All right, we're just hypothetically throwing some people in who are
Okay,
next
go,
on the
go,
list
go, go,
without
go, go,
fucking
go.
any geographical complications. Tom Willis, happy Max?
It depends which. I think it depends what back row got injured, but yeah, I'd say Tom Willis. Yeah,
Tom Willis is our only back row. He's our next on the plane back row. Who we think?
who are you saying? Ben Curry.
No, I'm with you. I'm Tom Willis as well.
Really?
Yeah. 9, Max. You got Ben White in there.
I think Ben White goes.
Yeah, okay, we're happy with that. 10s, Prendergast. This isn't who we want. This is who we think is next.
Is do you reckon the Jack crowd? Definitely not Jack.
No.
Okay, I'll go Prendergast
Or Farrell. Owen Farrell.
or George Ford.
Nah.
That's before
Surely-
Ford.
Again, depends on who gets injured. You're right, but let's just say who's the sort of the next 10 on the list.
Wouldn't you bring Owen Farrell?
I reckon it's probably Owen.
But wouldn't you, just because also he can cover centre, which none of the others can cover any other real position.
Great shout. He's great at 12. Yeah, I'll go with Faz.
Owen Farrell, yeah. Centres wise, Henshaw missing out.
Yeah.
Tom Jordan.
Yeah, I'm going Tom Jordan as a utility back, so we're going to come to that right at the end because I think he genuinely is. So this was my mindset before Max mentioned about Daly being like an out-and-out tourist that's been there, done it. He's like Faz's man. I reckon that Farrell made a call on Pollock and was like, oh, okay. And then it was like, we've got a couple of young guys in there already. Do I take Tom Jordan or do I need a bit more experience? Then I'll bring Daly in. But Max has changed my mind on that. But Tom Jordan is there. He's in the fucking waiting to go. But centres-wise, trying to think.
It's Henshaw and Tom.
Henshaw and Tom Jordan. Back three wise, again, there's a lot of back three in there, but Darcy Graham for a winger has got to be in for a shout. Pretty close, I think.
And Blair Murray, you don't think would, if you're bringing something different that's not necessary, you look at, because Darcy and actually Blair Murray are quite similar. So, but when you actually look at that, at the guys who are in the back three, there isn't that type of player. There isn't your Shane Williams, your Darcy Graham, your Blair Murray, who can do something out of absolutely nothing.
No, that's why I'd take Darcy Graham.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Not trying to get Welsh people in there.
Just get one in there, just one more, and then your utility man. Your first call, whoever goes down, is Tom Jordan, right?
Yeah. For me, it is. For me, it definitely is.
Boys, do you know of anybody who has been on that list? I remember Danny Kerr when we spoke to him. He had a story about that. But when you go on the list, isn't it the sucky of suckies, because you can't go on holiday. Like, you can't just be like, right, I'm just going to go.
Everyone will be on tour. The majority will be on tour.
Of course, they'll still be playing. So they will be basically on holiday drinking gravy. Okay.
Yeah, and that's I messaged Tom there. I was like, mate, you'll be over in Fiji and New Zealand close enough for that call. So yeah, a lot of them will be. But you're right. Some of those summer tours could fuck a couple players. We'll see. We are yet to find out. But boys, that's it. It's been announced, and I'm pretty sure my 15 that I announced yesterday, every player is in the squad. Whereas Max, have you got two missing?
Let's go. Let's have a look. Between the two of you, right? Wilson's 15. Yes. Jack
Willis.
Jack Willis is out. Yeah, Jack Willis is out. Whereas Max's it's the same number. You've got 2. Yeah, you win, Ryan, because he's got Courtney Laws and Caelan Doris. Why isn't Caelan Doris? Wasn't he in yours, Ryan? Because I told you to take him out. Because I texted you saying Caelan Doris.
I knew that. I'm a pundit. Max, you genuinely think? By the way, you think Keenan over Schmog starts?
I just think Faz is more familiar with Keenan, and I think Keenan's been brilliant for a long time. He's been like a big centre point of that Irish back three, and I think he's not quite as visual and as big and as sort of aesthetic and highlight really as Blair, but he does other things very, very well. So I think that's a tight caller, 100%.
My quick take on Scott Cummins, as I mentioned, I was going to say to you, is because John DL is the forwards coach, the line-out coach, he will be looking for like a line-out guru that's used to the way he runs all his systems. They'll need a player that midweek can run the line-out, that can just take onus on it. And that's why from the off, and genuinely, I don't know why. I never say it on here? I've been saying it in the background to you, haven't I, Mark? And I've spoken to a lot of people. They were my five. And Tom Jordan didn't make it. Who was the other person that didn't make it? Oh no, 4 of my 5 went in, but I thought Scott Cummins was going because of that link, that line out nous that he's got. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. He said he tried to give the missus a call and he just couldn't get the words out, which I would think I'd be like. Also, boys, 100 grand. 100 grand. 100,000 punders. I know it's not about the money, but Max, 100 grand.
Stop making it up.
That's how. What?
Mate, Max, that's how much you get paid. You get 100 grand.
How
did you not know that, Max?
I thought it was. I didn't think it was that much,
mate. 100,000 bangers. That's how. And think of all the free shit. I just saw someone put something up there. I think it was James Hook, and it was his old school Predators with the first iPod, and it's like engraved on the back. The amount of cool shit you must get.
Yeah, like so much like customized, tailored goodies. Yeah,
free shit. Do you remember when people like started getting Beats by Dre, and everyone was like. Everyone got them like in the squads, and it used to be like, oh fuck, I got.
Yeah, I went. So when they toured Australia last time, I went into Corbs's hotel room whilst they were playing the Melbourne Test, and he just had like
free shit
news of those Adidas Power boots, just all customized, lion styly and stuff. It was nuts. It was so cool.
I mean, what is it all about at the end of the day? Yeah, there's the prestige of cash, but free shit, free shit,
cash and cash. It's just, I can just see it during the first test, and then it's just you and I just going around the hotel rooms, just knowing that their people aren't there. Boys, word on the inevitable that is, and we said it. We said he had to go, and we don't always blow our own trumpets too much, but we've been doing the Henry Pollock, I think, earlier than everybody else. We've had people talking about Henry Pollock for a while, and we've been talking him up. What do we think about that? It happened.
Awesome.
It's justified.
Can you imagine being, what is he, 20 years old and that happened?
Yeah, he's just had the biggest breakout year ever on a Lions year. Smashed it out of the park. He's got Champions Cup final coming up. It's getting juicy. Yeah, good on him.
Ridiculous. He's going to be carrying around that lion. Can you imagine the amount of stick he's going to get as well?
Oh, good God!
But from the sounds of things, he'll really lap lap that up.
Yeah, well, but I would have. I'm getting the can of Lynx, spraying it to the hills and back, and then setting fire to the lion and saying that he didn't look after it, because I'm getting him in trouble no matter what happens. You reckon you're allowed to do that?
Worst human bloke. No,
I don't think you're allowed to directly harm the lion.
Oh.
That's probably like cause to be sent
You can
home.
hide it and stuff, but I don't think you can like
set fire to it.
I don't think he's just like
you can't
fire to it.
Yeah.
Why does your moraine go there first?
I was bad with fire when I was a kid.
I can imagine you were a little pyromaniac. It's so pretty.
Hey, do you remember when we had Lewis Rees-Zammit on here, and he was basically like, it was just the worst thing ever carrying around.
So hard. We're talking about pyromania. Yeah. Rees-Zammit carried it around. Yeah, sorry. Back to you.
No, but he was just saying how shit it was.
Yeah, but to be fair, he came on here with Manchester United wallpaper in the background, and just slagged off how shit the Lions tour was the whole time. So probably not.
Yeah, but you could understand that must have been tough. Your first lines towards that one, it would be like, now you're going to Australia, you're going to be around Coogee, you're going to be around it, you're going to be in South Yarra in Melbourne, you're going to be hitting up the valley down Brisbane. Oh my God, man. Yeah, definitely the best place to go tour.
And like you said it, they said it on stage, they're backing it up. They're going to try and back it up. They're going to try and beat Australia down under. There's been a bit of chat where the Aussies actually think they could win the tour. So that's what you need. So I'm actually...
Eddie Jones has
Mate, Red are
predicted 2-1.
Beaver, Steve Donald came out and said it.
Bro, I think they're looking tasty.
That's what we want, though, right? That's what we want.
Yeah,
we want
that's exactly what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, for once, I'm actually buzzing about rugby.
Mate, Mortal Kombat down under. How good? Run it straight. Harry Wilson up the guts. Mate, you see him talking about on that podcast where he's just talking about like running it back from a kickoff. I was just like, the bloke's pure state of origin, just the big fart. Up the guts. See if I can rumble him.
Oh, boys, how good! But yeah, we can imagine Henry Pollock will. Did you read the thing about him in training where he knocked? I think we talked about it before, where he almost got filled in England training for being so keen during the pads, but that's the sort of thing that is probably quite a good trait to have on a Lions tour, right? Where you're keeping everybody on their toes, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It might. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But listen, you've given him enough airtime. We wanted to keep this one short and sweet. So all I want is Max. I want a message from you. I want a message from you to the fans of the British and Irish Lions.
Okay.
Of making sure you grab your beautiful red jersey, buy that ticket, and get down under. We've not rehearsed this. I've just sprung this on him. But
what am I doing?
Sort of masterpiece. Let's just go. Let's roll with it.
What am I doing?
Just going to give me like a grab your jersey. Grab that famous red jersey that's, means so much to you. I'm not very good at this stuff, but that's what I want from you. I want
the cage,
to build up
your lion.
To
build up the Lions.
These Lions fans the
in the land down under there will be thunder. 4 nations garbed, united in the crimson of the Lions as they seek to do battle with the men of green and gold. Their phoenix rises. Wallaby Rugby is approaching its apex. Will the doughty men of Wales, Scotland, England and Ireland be up to the challenge of a penal colony? Dun, dun, dun.
Take that fine red jersey, book your tickets, Qantas if possible, business class like Mark, and head to the land of down under. We're going on a fucking Lions tour, baby.
Woo! Woo!
I'm sorry. I don't know where I was going with that.
It's perfect.
Boys, I can't wait. I genuinely buzzing for this Lions tour. Now it's finally been announced.
We all know this. The Australians are heading us through and through, like the most hedonic race I've ever seen, ever lived amongst. Yeah. But one thing they hold above all else is the oval-shaped ball. Any way they can find to put it through posts or touch it down, they will, and they do it immaculately.
Right, boys, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to try and get out there, aren't we? Because we
are. We're already there. I'm always already there. And Max,
I'm just a flight away, gentlemen.
You are going to do it. We're going to do it all together. And then people come and say hi. Come and send your love. Come and give us hugs. That is
weird. Right. There you are. Load into the comments. Let us know what you think of our fucking indecent rambling, because we've probably just spattered a load of shit that no one agrees with. But that's the way. Hey, that's the way of the world with us. Max, go and get some sun cream on. You're getting pinker and pinker by the day.
No, I've just had a sauna. That's all.
Farewell, gents.
Bye.
Ta-ta for now. More or nothing.